Hello, I'm Adrienne. I'm the singer and co-songwriter and orchestrator of Seven Spires. Oh, I'm so sleepy. Um, I've been sort of traveling and like on tour and everything for basically the entire year. Right now it's mid-August. No, it's early August,
Yeah,
and it's finally catching up.
yeah.
Yeah, I went for a nice walk through Helsinki, like town center, I guess, and I had to come back because my body was like, "You need to lay down. No more. You're done. Don't forget you play a show tonight." So yeah. 2 years ago, we played, I'm going to absolutely butcher this. Olo?
Oh, Oulu. Sorry,
Olu.
I cannot even pronounce it
Okay.
myself.
Um,
Oulu. Yeah,
we did this festival and another one, but I didn't really get to explore. I just
yeah,
remember that it was very mosquito-y and also extremely beautiful.
yeah,
So it's the first time that I get to
yeah.
actually see some stuff.
And
So
first time in Helsinki then at
I think
least.
I
So
think so. Very happy to be here.
yeah, sadly not with the well, Avantasia is great. Let's be real,
It
but
could be
could
worse.
be, could also have been Seven Spires.
Yeah, hopefully next time it will be. It was it's a very raw, emotionally raw album. So because of this, it was quite a scary release process. Because it was such an emotionally raw album, it was a pretty scary release process. Um, it's it's I would say like kind of an ugly album, but so I had the feeling that I would by releasing this album I would basically stand naked in front of the world and say
Mm,
like here it is. But the reception was quite cool because in for example my Discord server, I there's a thread where people share their stories, how they relate to the songs, what they love the most, and it was so cool to see people talking about their own stories and how the songs struck them in their own memories. And so sometimes I forget that when we write and release music, it becomes no longer about us. It's now something that everybody connects to, and that was a really beautiful thing, and it was totally worth all of the terror. So
yeah.
yeah, very, very pleased with that. I guess during the songwriting process, I mean, it's been going on for almost 2 years. Um, it started in, I think, October 22, and during that time, I was in kind of a dark place, and then it came again during the recording. So I guess we needed to put out an album. I mean, we also do it because we want to, but
Mm,
that those were the feelings in my heart at the time, and so yeah, here it is, a dark album.
mm,
Not so much of a, I kind of a concept. I can't truly say that it's not related to the original trilogy, but it's not as much of a journey from point A to point Z, for example. But maybe it informs more of the motivations and character development behind the events and the characters of
mm,
the first three albums.
yeah,
So yeah,
yeah. So where does the story like continue, in this record?
inward, I
Yeah.
would say. Yeah. And yeah, I mean it's definitely full of like lyrical and melodic references. There's even like a mention of like the cabaret of dreams in the song Architect of Creation. And so I mean the song is like super manic. The feeling that you have coming out of a dark place, sometimes you latch onto something and it's like, now I'm ready to kill God and become him. And yeah, so we burn everything that we know and create our own cabaret of dreams. Yeah, that it's hard to say if it fits somewhere linearly,
Mm,
but it fits somehow.
yeah.
I guess we just all lived and we're always learning new stuff, working with different artists and different groups, and so we kind of just learn new stuff. I also started listening to a lot of Leprous.
Oh,
Uh,
leprous.
yeah,
Yeah,
this
feels.
is, I guess, yeah. So you're a fan.
Yeah,
Tesseract and like sort of these types of prog
yeah.
bands. I would also even say that a band like Camelot has quite some progressive tendencies, although they're typically categorized as something different. Um, but I think in general, we're always trying to push our limits, not for the sake of pushing our limits, but just because it's always about feeding the serving the song, and sometimes if I only stay in one subgenre, it's not enough to let the song be what it wants to be.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Yeah. So you're do you actually listen more prog than you actually listen to the symphonic power metal?
good question. I guess these days, yeah. When we started the band, I was listening a lot to yeah, bands like Camelot, Nightwish, also Dimmu Borgir, Flesh God Apocalypse, and these. I mean, it's also strange to say symphonic metal because that usually has a certain
Yeah.
connotation, but you can't say that Flesh God Apocalypse isn't a symphonic
Yeah, no,
metal
no.
band. But yeah, in terms of my day-to-day metal listening, it's usually um, like Melodeath. I'm a huge Omnium Gatherum fan, for example, from Finland. And yeah, Leprous is another one, Tesseract, Draconian also.
Yeah.
I fell asleep to Under a Godless Veil
Mm.
for like a year and a half after it came out. So I think, yeah.
Do you listen to music when you try and fall asleep?
Oh, a lot.
Yeah.
I think my brain needs something to latch onto just a little bit
Yeah.
background because otherwise I'm just thinking and thinking all the time. And there's only so much that meditation can do.
Yeah. Yeah, that's quite interesting. I mean, as a kid, I used to listen to Beethoven for some reason.
Oh,
Only that. Yeah.
yeah.
But
Wow.
yeah.
I listened to, I had like several lullaby cassettes
Mm.
when I was a kid, and yeah, it helps. Now I like to listen to lo-fi when I sleep,
Yeah.
or like slow jazz,
Oh yeah, dark like jazz
dark jazz.
noir.
Okay,
Great.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
we have Love Souvenir, so I guess it's kind of obvious. But yeah, like lo-fi versions of like the Witcher soundtrack or something like
Yeah.
that. It's really nice.
Yeah, that's quite
Yeah.
interesting. Like those kinds of, do you feel like if you listen to music before you go to sleep, and probably it's like going a little bit into your sleep, does that have some kind of effect on you, like as a artist somehow? Stupid question, maybe, but
I mean, maybe I think it's maybe not necessarily about what I'm listening to as I sleep, but it's just the number of hours that I spent listening to something like that. Also, there was a period of like 4, 5, maybe 6 months where I was listening to like tavern music from Skyrim. So I think there's some of that that's present in the
yeah.
new album as well.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think it's just like, wow, she listened to 400 hours of this one Draconian album. So
Yeah. Your Spotify like rap
exactly,
must
yeah.
be
Yeah.
interesting.
Always been a gamer. I'm also working in video game symphony as a vocalist, and sometimes I do vocals for video game soundtracks and stuff. But I really love the storytelling aspect and the epic nature of like especially modern video games, I guess. I mean, for example, I'm a really big fan of Xenoblade, and I think the battle music is amazing. All the environmental, like nighttime, daytime stuff. Also, the way that in films as well, that you can use motifs to to show a character's descent into madness by recoloring it, reharmonizing it, or bringing in a French horn, and then you know shit's about to get real. I don't know if I can swear on you.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Go ahead.
yeah, but yeah, I really really love a good score.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As like somebody who does orchestrations, like I wonder, I've never met like a female orchestrator somehow in the metal scene at least.
You good point.
Are you the only one?
I'm sure there are others.
Yeah. Come forward, please. I would like to know more. But do
Okay,
you
yeah,
feel
yeah,
like,
seriously.
yeah,
I would be like, let's make a club.
yeah.
A support group.
Do you feel like, I don't know how to put this without, I'm a woman myself, so I can ask this, but do you feel like being feminine, like, does that influence the orchestrations maybe a little bit?
Probably. I've never been a man, so
Yeah.
I can't really make a comparison. I probably listen to a lot of the same stuff that a guy my age who's doing the same job would listen to. Maybe we have different tastes. I was very inspired by Tuomas, for example, from Nightwish
Yeah.
to be an orchestrator. Also, I believe his name is Clemens from Karakangren. Great orchestrator. Also just does horror soundtracks. But sometimes sometimes I think that, and not only in orchestration, but as a vocalist and as a songwriter, and as especially as a performer, when I was younger, I felt that I had a bit more to prove.
Yeah.
So I wanted to be darker, more brutal, more just more. Um, and now I think I've said and done what I needed to do and say, so I feel a bit freer to show some softness.
Yeah.
I would for sure say that this Serpentine offering cover that I did
Yeah.
really was like, okay, she can scream. There it is. So yeah, I would say that helped, and it also helped point people in the direction of Spires,
Yeah.
which I was very grateful for. I think about this a lot.
Yeah.
I think I mean, at this point now I'm 29 years old. I'll be 30 in January, and I stopped caring so much about proving myself and doing things for to impress other people. And I think the only person I really want to impress now is 18-year-old Adrienne, 8-year-old Adrienne. And I think 18-year-old Adrienne, who started Seven Spires and went to school for orchestration, I think, who was listening to Avantasia on the train on the way to school. I think she would be so proud.
Yeah.
So I feel good. And I'm thankful as well when I look back for how hard I worked and the sacrifices that I made, especially socially, just in general. I don't think I think I went very hard into all of that, and I don't know if I have the energy to be so relentless now as I was.
Yeah.
Um, so when I look back, I also feel thankful and also ready to make some changes. I definitely make the active choice to relax because if I'm so stressed about like, okay, I got to make sure that I do the next thing so that the next opportunity is there when I'm ready for it. At this point, I feel so thankful to say that I know that the opportunities will be there. So, it's therefore it's now my responsibility to take better care of myself so that I can show up as best I can for those
Yeah.
opportunities. Um, but it's a weird balance too because there is still a little bit of the feeling of like, but I can't relax fully
Yeah.
because what if those opportunities aren't there? And I mean, it's also kind of real. I think the turnover, we could say the generation of bands, especially in rock and metal, is is maybe like 5 to 10 years. And so I do want to make sure that I'm still showing up, still growing, still making sure that I'm afraid to say this, but making sure that I'm doing what I can to, in a way, like provide for Spires. I mean, each of us in the band has our own skills, and I think everybody feels that way.
Yeah.
But I don't forgot the question now. I've just been talking.
That's okay. I don't even know them anymore.
Just
But why were you afraid to mention that?
um about providing.
Yeah.
Um, well, I don't want to ever at all discount the extremely hard work that my bandmates also put in.
Yeah.
And it's just that my particular skill set and also my outside of Spires jobs involves working with other bands. And even when we're touring with other bands, I'm it's a thing that comes naturally to me. I usually like spend time with the other people on the tour party, um, as opposed to like, for example, Jack's natural talents outside of being a guitar player, outside of being Inspires us. He's very good with audio engineering and developing those types of relationships. And I'm usually the one that like talks to the other band leader and is like, "Hey, so when do you want to do this again?" or something like that.
Mhm.
So yeah, I don't. Basically, yeah, I was afraid because I don't want to seem like I'm the only reason this is going anywhere.
Oh, no.
Because it's
Yeah.
absolutely, it
No.
took all four of us.
Yeah.
And beyond that, we have an incredible team that there's so much more to every band than I think I ever realized
Yeah.
until actually the release of this album. Because I mean, Peter is our manager, but he also works with another guy from his own management company. So we have, in a way, like an assistant manager or two managers or
Mm.
something. We have a social media guy. We have like our label. We have two videographers that we work with, and one of them also has an entire team. We had makeup artists. We had like various photographers. Like it took so many people to make this one album, and so yeah, that's why I was afraid. I don't want to sound like I'm the reason this is going anywhere because
I don't think you would ever sound like that, to be fair.
Okay.
You don't have that attitude, I think.
Okay.
Or at least
Thanks.
I guess.
I mean, one of the big ones is, for example, we're in a very nice hotel, and just learning. I mean, okay, so I started touring in personal vehicles, and then we graduated to touring in a van, and then we graduated to touring in an RV. Um, but since I'm the one usually doing tours like steps ahead, I'm able to bring home like, hey, it would be great if we put these things on our rider, or
Yeah.
if we can advance this stuff, or if we try to shoot for having these many shows in a row and then have a day off here. Um, so that's definitely one thing. Also understanding like what type of production, like just how to make the show look
Yeah.
cooler. I it's somehow like not obvious to me when I'm performing with Seven Spires. I feel like we're giving our all. It's great, blah blah blah. Like, how could it possibly be better? And then I showed up to rehearsals for this tour with Avantasia, and we have an entirely new set. We have an incredible like LED, like three-dimensional illusion with like a set that you can climb on, and it's like fully immersing us in a certain world. And this is something that I don't think about when I'm performing in Sammy's patio in
Mhm.
Revere, Massachusetts, on a floor stage.
Yeah, well.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it really helps to just like go beyond like a sort of like glass ceiling that I don't even
Yeah.
know exists, to just understand the true
Yeah.
full scope of what could be possible.
Yeah, I guess you don't get to play it, while you were at Grass Pop, you don't get to play at the main stage of Grass Pop without,
Sure. Yeah.
doing some hurdles. But then I'm sure Seven Spires will get there one day as well.
Absolutely. I mean, we were announced for Vakken
Yeah.
for next year. And for example, here's another thing, like playing with Avantasia really helped me get over the it's not really stage fright, but it's sometimes very overwhelming to stand in front of that many people.
Yeah.
And so I think I'm desensitized in a good way. Like it doesn't overwhelm me now. And I'm not like, I better do it. Of course I still want to do a good job, and like, oh no, what if I mess up? It's fine. But I love to watch. I mean, there's so many incredible frontmen in the band. So this is something to learn the way they work with the audience, but also for me to just like not be afraid of this. We as humans aren't really naturally wired to have that many eyes on us.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like an alien experience to stand in front of 80,000 people and sing alone.
Mhm.
That's weird. But now that I had sort of a practice, I can now perform at Vakken next year with my own band
Yeah.
and um, not have that hurdle in front of me. I could just like feel relaxed and be the kind of person that I am, I guess.
Mhm.
Later this month, we will headline at Mile High Power Fest in Denver, Colorado. It's actually also our only North American date this year. And I guess we're kind of thinking of it as our album release party show thing, because it's the only one. We will also go to Japan in December with Lords of the Trident for, I think it's like a 2-week tour. I'm so excited. I love Japan, and I'm gonna eat all the good stuff there. And then so we got announced for Vakken. We were announced for, I'm going to butcher the pronunciation of this festival, but it's Rock and Rautheim, which is a festival that Masters of Ceremony played this year, and I'm very much looking forward to that. And and yeah, we signed with a European booking agent, so hopefully there will be more to report next time I see you.
Yeah. Well, more Finnish shows.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Or any Finnish show.
Any would be great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just thanks for watching. Thank you so much for supporting us always, and really, really hope to come to Finland soon. I know from our Spotify that Helsinki is one of our top listening cities.
It always is.
So we have to come here.
Yeah.
We have to come here. Tell all your friends. Tell all your promoters. Tell everybody. Tell your mom. Tell your mom I said hi. No. We would love to come. Thank you very much. We're always appreciative.